Hi there, I'm Sapphire Jewel King, founder and CEO of International Freedom Coalition. Thank you so much for your interest in joining our family as an ambassador. Whether you're an expert in your field, a college student looking to develop your portfolio, or someone looking to gain more experience in an area that is completely foreign to you, one thing is for certain: you all want to make a difference. But you may be wondering, can I really have an impact? I'm only one person. I'm only volunteering 1 hour, 5 hours a week. Can that really change someone else's life? Well, if that's what you're thinking, I'd like to share something with you. Well, I first began volunteering at the tender age of 9 when I would help kids in the neighborhood with their math homework. But it wasn't until I graduated with my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering that I began my community service in earnest. And even though I could be working on up to 6 projects at the same time, they always had a common denominator, and that was helping disadvantaged youth. Whether it was helping them to heal from some traumatic experience, developing their self-esteem and self-confidence, or just helping them develop a dream and a vision for their lives, as well as the belief to hold on to that dream and pursue that vision no matter what their current circumstances were or what those circumstances might be in the future. And it was during this time that I had an experience that would become a defining moment, not just in my career, but in my life. And that moment would be Ian. Ian was 13, 14 years old. He was a student in my creative writing after-school program that I had at a charter school. And a super bright kid, really beautiful kid, and a great writer. But I could tell from his work that he had knowledge of things beyond his years. And one day he came to school just blank face, blank eyes. And I couldn't understand it. I was asking Ian, what's going on, what's wrong? And I got nothing out of him that week. The next week he came back, he was my Ian. But the following week he came back, and again, just blank, eyes completely empty. And so I did some more probing, and finally he told me, he said, "Miss Sapphire, I'm a psychopath." And I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "I'm a psychopath. I'm always going to be a psychopath, so it doesn't matter what I do." And I said, "Ian, why do you think you're a psychopath?" And he said, "Because my mom tells me so. She just told me last night. I'm a psychopath, and that's all I'm ever going to be. So there's no sense in me trying to do anything else." And that broke my heart. That moment, that one sentence that he said. And I knew then that I had to change what I was doing. So about maybe a year later, I resigned as an engineer because I knew I was in the wrong field. That was not my calling. And a few years later, I went to graduate school to get my master's degree in adult education and training so that I could do something to help parents and whoever is living in that home to heal themselves so they wouldn't project this onto their children. And it was during that time, all of my research was focused on families and abuse and neglect. And that's when I learned that 90% of the abuse and neglect is perpetrated by family members, by parents, by relatives, by family friends, people who are living in that home environment. And that's when I knew that that's what I was supposed to do. It wasn't enough to just work with the children and return them back to that home environment. Someone needed to be in the home helping the parents as well. So 3 months before I graduated, I founded the International Freedom Coalition, and our mission is to eradicate child maltreatment worldwide by strengthening and stabilizing the family unit. Our vision statement is something that comes directly from the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of a Child, which states that the child, for the full and harmonious development of his or her personality, should grow up in a family environment, in an atmosphere of happiness and love and understanding. Our initial goal is to end child abuse and neglect in the United States by 2040. Now, many people mistake that to be our vision statement, but it is not a vision. It's not just a good idea. that is what we're holding ourselves accountable for all of the Ians of the world. And it's something that I can't do alone. That's where our volunteers come in, whether as an ambassador or an affiliate or a board member. Without them, we miss the mark. Without them, we cannot ensure that our children are growing up in a family environment that's safe and that's accepting and loving, which is what they deserve, but is also what they're going to need to succeed in life. So, whether you are still considering joining our family or you've already made a commitment, there's one thing that I want you to know. You have a unique opportunity to turn travesty into triumph. And as an ambassador, you always have a home here. Welcome to the IFC family.